There we go. See if I can get it popping up. There's always that first hesitation because you don't know if it's starting up or not, even though it says live.
Hi, everyone.
There we go. Oh wow, my bushy bot is behind. I'll have to fix that. Figures. But I want to welcome everybody here tonight. We got another great guest for gardeners out there. Let me see if I can get this to copy.
How you doing, Dana? Hi, Chris. Hi, Little Lone Prepper. I love that you got the bush bot.
Yeah, he comes in handy. He's actually got quite a few bans before they actually occurred, which is very surprising. There we go.
This Homestead Aquarius is here. Hi, Homestead Aquarius. Got Pat Evans.
Because we've all had those certain bots that come in and advertise, and they're not the nicest thing. So you remember those keywords, and if you put them in the bots or even your channel, it'll stop them before they say anything.
Well, you got to protect your channel, right?
Yeah.
So whatever you got to do, you got to protect it.
Okay, well, I guess we can go ahead and get started. Go ahead and introduce yourself and let everybody know what kind of channel you have.
Okay, well, I have a show called Sunday Fun Day. I have a garden show. I give out I have a couple interviews, and I give away seeds, hot sauce, yarn, things you do in a homestead community. I'm all about family. People are sharing each other's channels out. I've been gardening for over 30 years. My neighbors lived to 104, 97. So I grew up next to a farm. And my father gave me some of the best advice in the world. He goes, Joe, if somebody talks to you, make sure you look them straight in the eye and listen to them. Because you know what? They don't have to be there. You could be a nobody. So listen to them, because if they're important to you, you should be important to them. And so the old Polish guy, Kozlowski, very Polish accent, and he would talk to me about gardening all the time. That's all he talked to me about. And so he used to make this iced tea, right? We always just had water around the house. Once in a while, there was some soda pop and stuff like that, but mainly water. So, they made this iced tea, and I have no idea what was in it, but it was brewed over 24 hours. They put straw in it. It was served with straw, and it was so good. So all of a sudden, you're outside, because we had to be up 5 o'clock in the morning outside right off the bat. That's where he's always helped out our neighbors, helped out doing things. And so I'll be thirsty. I'm like, I don't want no water. As a kid, you don't want water. So I would stroll up the hill, and I would talk to him. Hey, is Mr. Carrick here? Of course he's there. He doesn't do anything else. How you doing? And I'll go up there. I'm like, oh, there's the iced tea. All right. And so I would talk to him about gardening. And so I started my own garden at a very young age. And, very basic stuff: tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, zucchini, beets, just basic stuff. And I would bring my vegetables to school and give out my vegetables in school. And everybody thought it was the coolest thing.
Well, that's cool.
And they'd be like, oh, what does Joe have today? And so I always enjoyed doing it. Even when I was coaching, I coached for over 16 years of high school, football, baseball, wrestling. and I would just bring in vegetables to the coaches, and everybody like, oh, this is the freaking coolest thing. Until one day I told one of the coaches one of the hot peppers was a sweet pepper. And you know how you have the schools where you turn a water fountain and you got like this much water coming out?
Yeah.
So he goes, I remember him eating it and he was like, oh, this is hot. This is no sweet pepper. Oh, this is hot. Then he ran to the water fountain. He went out running, and all of a sudden, oh, the water fountain's not working.
Oh no.
And he's running around. Yeah,
Did you have to do extra laps after that?
No, that's when I was coaching.
Oh, when you were coach. Okay.
You
Okay.
always pull pranks on each other anyway.
Okay.
But as a player, I always been known a garden and always been handing out stuff. Now, talk about a little story. I Uber as my second job, right? So I go off one job on the weekends. So generally, I start the day I wake up 6:30. I don't get home to 4:30 in the morning. So it's pretty much nonstop on a Friday, Saturday. I garden early, then I Uber all day, you know. And Sunday I got my garden, then I got my show. So I'm constantly doing stuff. But when I Uber in the summer, I hand out vegetables, right? And you know how you have a couple college kids, and you know one of them is going to have that hot pepper. You know, one of them's going to say, "Oh, I'll have it." You know,
Yeah.
So, and I also give out watermelon, zucchini. The zucchinis are freaking hysterical. I'll go to a girl, and you know, a couple girls in the car. Hey, do you want a zucchini? And everybody like, what? A zucchini? What? Look in the back seat, and you see a zucchini, like the huge ones like this, and they're like, "Oh, a zucchini." But the hot peppers, it's because I always give out the hot peppers at the end of the ride, because you know that one of them is going to just put them in their mouth.
Oh yeah.
And you warn them. This is going to be the hottest pepper. You're going to have a problem breathing, and all of a sudden you go, and our friends are like, "Oh, God, do it!" And all of a sudden, you guys want any extra for for your party over there? But yeah, I kind of have a lot of fun. I try to enjoy life as much as I can, and I try to give out as much as I can.
Yeah, I didn't last year because I had issues with the tree falling on my garden, but I'll put in my front yard. I'll put a little stand table out there for extra stuff that I'm not going to use, or I don't want it to go to waste. And sometimes people come by and grab it, and sometimes they don't. But I just put a free sign out there, and it's usually the cherry tomatoes that everybody goes for. And I don't know why. For me, I would go for the big, fat, juicy tomato, but everybody goes for the cherry tomatoes.
I do a donation stand myself.
Yeah.
And I call it donation because if I get any money back with that, it's always great.
Oh yeah.
Because it gets my soil, my everything paid for what I have during a year. Now, last year I tore my Achilles tendon and had surgery.
Yeah.
So I didn't even put anything really outside. And even if there was, I couldn't get back there. I was just trying to get to the bathroom first thing in the morning. If I got to the bathroom first thing, it was a good day.
Yep. Well, I know how that is. I broke I didn't actually know I broke it, but until I went to the doctor, and he said, well, you had a broken foot. That's why it was hurting. And I said, and he wanted to re-break it and reset it into its correct place. And I said, well, I don't want to go and do that again. Because, our bathroom, we have one bathroom and it's upstairs. Right. And when you get older, it's not easy to hop upstairs on one leg. So yeah, it's not fun. And I see you've been doing a lot of work on your garden this year, though.
Yeah, well, I'm starting. It's tough because it's all about how much time do I have and what am I going to replace with what? I know I have Sunday morning. Saturdays are a little tricky. Now, it's been raining here basically every single Saturday except for 2 times since early spring. So it's like you want to get out there. This is your time, and oh no, and paying the bills. I was Ubering a lot right after my other job during the week too, and so it was like, okay, when am I going to have time?
Yeah.
So, but it's I got part 2 basically done. I have four parts. So I'm growing. It's going to be around over about 525 varieties of hot peppers. So that's
That's
varieties,
a lot
not
of hot
just
peppers.
peppers. I'm talking about varieties.
Yeah.
And here, let me show you something. I think it's pretty cool. So when I label plants, just to let you guys know, I don't put the things up top here in.
Yeah, I
I
know.
label from the outside.
Yep. I used to do the same thing. I used to put it on, and I have cats, and those little signs that stick in the soil, they
Mhm.
rip them out every time.
Yeah, you kind of learn your lesson.
Yep.
And just make sure if you guys ever do this, just make sure you put some tape over it, because if you don't, they smear, and you don't want any of that. You don't
Yep.
want any smearing going on.
Yep.
Put this back here. That's a lot of people don't do that, and I think it's the most amazing thing. And if you do label your plants, if you go to the dollar store and there's like little sign things, and you use permanent markers, the heavy duty ones, you can have those forever.
Yep.
And it's $1.25. And instead of buying something that's never going to be there, those will always be there.
Oh
So,
yeah, it definitely. If I was doing like the in ground, like you're doing, because you have your signs right where your rows are,
mhm.
so you just walk there and that's your purple bell peppers or your yellows and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I just like it doesn't smear. If you got to use them, you got to use shit. You just got to use the right marker. That's all.
Yeah.
You don't get the cheap kind, because those will smear.
Yeah. The permanent what you call it? I forget.
I wish I had it in front of me. Yeah, so you don't want to use something like this.
Yeah.
Those will rub off. That's actually strain too. Oh,
Fade
look, fade
resistant.
resistant. That is one. So there you go. I like using the big ones, but they come in really handy, and I loved it last year. I mean, I looked out there this year. I'm like, oh look, a perfect sign, perfect thing. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Okay. For there might be some people in chat that don't know what Sunday Fun Day is. You want to kind of go over exactly what that is?
Yeah, Sunday Fun Day. I start off at 7 o'clock, and I have the main interview. And so I had my gardener. I had same as you. I had Greg from Haas Tools. I had gardener Scott. So I try to look for some of the top gardeners in the whole nation, you know. And then I'm also about community. I've always been about community, people who support me, the people I think are important. So at 8:20, I have an interview with 2 more people. And I tried, depending on how much time I have in between, I'll spin the wheel. And after that second interview, so it goes 8:20, 8:40, I will spin the wheel again. So the interview is supposed to be around 15 minutes, but I try to get something in between.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it goes overboard. Lately, it's been going overboard because my first guest is like, man, I barely even turn the page with questions, and it's already an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I have another interview. And at 8:40, I try to get somebody from the yarny side, like somebody with yarn, somebody with homestead, and somebody that does yard and garden, somewhere I get and link that together,
Yeah.
or people I have followed. And so that goes from 8:40 to 9. And before you know it, time's up at 9 o'clock. But sometimes I go to 9:30, and I try to stay to 9, but
Yeah. It goes fast.
it goes by too fast. And I really try to give out as much stuff as I can, from books, to garden stuff, seeds.
Yeah.
A lot of seeds. hot sauce is pretty cool. Because
Yeah.
the hot sauce I give out is not no hot shop. It's not no ShopRite hot sauce. It's from Pucker Butt. What a company's name, right? Pucker Butt.
Yep, that it is.
And Pucker Butt. And so I give out that, and I think that's really cool. And yarn or crochet and stuff. So I give out stuff like that.
I don't know, but you used to have the seeds of the month. I don't know if you still do, because after you went ahead and you got started and you had a bunch of mods and everything, I went and stopped because I was I wanted to take the weekends off because YouTube is hectic a bit. So if you don't take time off, you can burn out real easy.
I do not have seeds of the month right now, but it's something I definitely want to get back to. It's more of a time thing.
Yeah.
I just can't get that time in. And what I was doing is I was giving five varieties of seeds each month for $5.
Yeah.
And you were getting your money's worth big time. Those seeds were
from
the top seed companies in the world. There were not no, cheap seeds. And it's something I want to get to again.
And they weren't like just your normal, beefsteak tomatoes, or they were, I'll call it strange varieties. I've got some, what was those? There's the Snow Whites, and there's the peppers.
Peter Pepper.
I still haven't grown those yet. I still have them.
So what Charles was talking about, I had an adult series, and then I had a kids series. So I had there was a whole bunch of varieties I was trying to find that dealt with adult theme, like Paradise Pleasure. The goat bag tomato. And if you guys ever see the goat bag tomato, it's like 2-3 pound tomato. The tomato is absolutely huge. And if you can find the seeds for that, go for it. I highly, highly recommend it. Very little seeds, huge paste tomato, 2-3 pound tomato. Absolutely love it. Paradise Pleasure. What a name for that. Right?
Well, and the dwarf, I got one here. The dwarf tomatoes, I actually grew those in my house, and they turned out great. I mean, under the grow lights and everything, they turned out great. And I had tomatoes, good sized tomatoes, in the wintertime.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Now, this seed company, I got some of the weirdest names from. This is from Ukraine. And so that this company has been great. Now, when you're in Ukraine, they have because of temperature wise, where there's no humidity, there's no pest pressure. There's no disease pressure on the plants. So when you're buying those seeds, if you have less disease pressure, that's the seeds I want.
Yeah.
If you buy even for like a northern company that gets blight all the time, why would you want to grow some of their vegetables that don't have a disease resistant package?
Yeah.
You're kind of suckered in and just keep on buying disease, into early blight tomatoes.
Yeah. And some there are, because I've ordered some that they claim a certain germination rate. And I've talked about this before. I was telling Greg about it. I said I ordered some seeds because they sound interesting. They were strawberry spinach. It grew spinach, and then if you left it go, it would actually produce strawberries on top of it. And I planted them. Not one came up.
That's how it usually goes.
And the thing with the peppers, you have to trust that the place that you grow, they grow these seeds, these plants, that they make sure that they don't cross pollinate, because you won't get the actual plant. You get something that's been cross pollinated.
Well, most of those places, right, they come from a distributor, right? So everybody in my garden, or all of them, come from some kind of distributor that just distributes seeds. So if
Yeah.
it's to say in my gardener or Hoss Tools or whatever, they could be getting some from the same supplier, just paying more from one company than another company.
Yeah.
Just to let you guys know that. And then they have their own varieties. That means it comes from them. So that's what you got to trust for that.
Yeah.
But and my gardener seeds, I always thought, hey, it's cheaper. That's first. And never had a problem with any kind of cross pollination or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
That's what I was telling Greg, that with I bought 1 pack of Cherokee purple tomatoes, and never have, I better knock on wood now, never have I had a seed, and I'll pick one seed and put in the soil, and it'll grow a tomato plant. I've never had one not grow something.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me, that's worth the money, because you're saving money in the end. Oh, I can go to the Dollar Tree and get 4 packs, and then maybe 10% of that comes up.
See, if you have a lot of those places have greenhouses, right? So each greenhouse they have is per one variety of seeds.
Yeah.
So they grow all year round, do whatever they want, put them in the field, whatever, whatever they want to do with them. But a lot of them are just right from the greenhouse where they get those seeds, and so they don't cross. So that's something interesting.
Yeah. And how many different varieties of tomatoes did you say you're going to have this year?
I'm only going to have around a little over 50. So
Only.
last year I had 300. They were all set to go out. I had them all on Newton, all noted. Everything's set to go out. And that's when I tore my Achilles, which really bummed me out, because I really wanted to do a lot of research on it and save the seeds and do everything. And so I was really bummed out by that. I love doing research.
Yeah, I like the weird part of the weirder the title of the seed. I don't know. It's because last year I had the pineapple. I wanted everything to have some kind of pineapple to it. I had pineapple bell peppers. I had pineapple tomatoes, pineapple sage, which is awesome. That stuff is pineapple mint. There was just all kinds of pineapple. Unfortunately, I had the tree thing.
Yeah.
But I did get to try the pineapple tomato, and it was really good. And it was really hard for me to decide the purple Cherokee or the pineapple tomato.
See, everybody thinks my love is the hot peppers. My actual love is tomatoes.
Yeah.
I always been fascinated with tomatoes. I'm from the Garden State, right?
Yeah.
And I'm Joey. I'm like, Joey Tomatoes. Hey. I really enjoy tomatoes. They grow great in New Jersey. They just get bummed out because when September hits, it's like, oh, here comes the, all kind of diseases, everything spreads, boom.
Yeah.
What I'm afraid about, I don't know if you got it over there, is the Chinese lanternfly. And those things are, you're supposed to kill them and report them. All right. They came into Philadelphia, and they're spreading all over the place. And New Jersey was totally infected by it. But I would say about 85% of the state got affected by that. So when they go to the woods, I have no idea what they're going to do. I'm afraid they're going to spray in our neighborhood. Guess what happens to all the plants? What happens to everything if you're growing food if they're spraying, right?
Yeah.
And I'm really afraid about that this year.
Yeah, I've had a lot of because at one point I was trying to decide if I was going to do a garden this year, because, we had a thing happen in Ohio where a lot of our water is contaminated now. And
how close were you to that?
2 counties over.
Oh, wow.
So at one point, we did get the headaches and everything because the wind changed and came back. And other than that, I've tested the rain. Every time it rains, I got a little thing that I collect. I clean it out and I put it out there, and I test the water. Now I can't pinpoint what's in it, but it tells me if there's something bad to where you can't drink it. So if there's something to where I can't drink it, then that's going to be bad for my garden.
Right.
And it hasn't, knock on wood, I haven't had that issue yet. So
yeah,
that's a good thing.
That's a great thing, but that's rough because you got to keep on checking it no matter what.
Yeah.
One little mistake, you could really screw up everything.
Yeah.
Now, how many barrels do you have or collectors?
I can't.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Unfortunately, I can't collect. I can't have ring catchments.
Okay.
I can cheat a little bit. We have our trash. We have these trash cans that you wheel out, and they come by with the little arm and picks them up. Well, we have one for trash and we have one for recycling. We can go for 3 or 4 months and the recycle truck never comes by. So I've positioned this recycle bin to where, it might fall off into the rain comes off my garage into this recycle bin, which is pretty tall. It's probably at least 60, 65 gallons.
Wow.
So that's if we start getting some dry to where, because I'd rather use rainwater than city water, because our city water is probably not the best.
It's amazing the change of, drinking out of the faucet when you were a kid. Imagine if a kid did that today.
Oh, I know.
I can't even imagine. I can't.
Yeah, that's that's how when we were kids, that a water hose, it just turned it on, had dirt on it or whatever. We still drink out of the thing. Nowadays, it's like, I don't know if I would want to do that or not.
Yeah, I don't want to do that anymore either. But the taste difference before, what happened.
Oh, yeah.
From 30 years ago, they used to be the best. I couldn't wait for something from there. Now it's like, oh, there's no way. I remember going to the ball field. That's how you got your water. You're at the ball field 6 hours, 7 hours. You're just drinking out of the faucet. It was great. And
you stop and think about it. It's when the water started getting bad, everybody went to drinking, soda pop, Kool-Aid, and everything. They had to flavor it, and that's when everybody started. Water was not number one anymore.
Yeah, it's when we all got fat. Well, that's when I got fat.
Now, I used to love watching. Well, I still do. When you go out and you say, "This is my registration video," where people that are new and whatnot, they come and they leave a comment so they can be registered for the Sunday Fun Day. And I used to love watching some of your videos with, around New Jersey, your area and whatnot, the boardwalk and all that stuff. And you would give history about it and stuff like that. And,
well, I got that from watching some channels, and they were like, "Hey, this is my channel about travel." Yeah. And so, you know what? I'm like, hey, if I'm doing how am I going to get people on a wheel? I said, how about if I just go around town or go around New Jersey and make it a registration video where people can comment by just leaving a comment. They go there for 5 minutes or get to watch the whole video. And I love going down the Jersey Shore. There's so many things just in my little vicinity.
Yeah.
So I live in Jackson, New Jersey, which is if you guys see Six Flags anywhere, I'm about 10 minutes from Six Flags. If you're in the East Coast, you guys don't understand it. But I work down the Jersey Shore. So it's like, what better place could I be just to travel a little distance and make a video of something? See, the Jersey Shore, a lot of people in the Northeast travel to, so why not just go around to a little bit of history, like Bruce Springsteen, and where did he grow up, or where did, all just little things. There's so much history in New Jersey, and I'm right there. So, and there's nothing like a little bit of boardwalk. Everybody likes looking at the beach.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And here I got this video didn't work out because I thought it was going to work out. So I got engaged. Okay, there's this place called Sandy Hook, right?
Yeah,
and
I remember that one.
It's actually part of it's a nude beach, right? But I'm not talking about the nude beach part. But I got engaged to my wife on the water over there with the big car lit up and the candles lit up on a beach. I never realized first it was called Hancock Beach. It's a story for the kids. Well, definitely not the kids. Well, anyway, as a joke, I planted some Peter pepper plants there, right? And said, I put water me, watch me grow. So people get off in the parking lot. That's the first thing they're going to see when they enter before they go to the beach. It's a nature preserve. I'm planting a pepper plant. Hey, Charles, I'm just, if I could put a smile on somebody's face, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
I'm always been about that. So.
Yeah,
I can't believe I did that.
Yeah. And we do have a question. Do you have any pine barrel stories?
Well, things in the pine barrens grow really well. Well, no, I have no pine barren stories, but that is a little south of me, not far away. I did not grow up in Jackson. Jackson, right south of Jackson, is the pine barrens, and it goes far down south. And so, but no, I haven't planted any things over there down south. So he's thinking about like the Sopranos,
Oh, yeah.
So
the meat market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the meat market was up north, but where they did the dumping grounds was like the pine barrens down south.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of mob related stories about the pine barrens or the Sopranos.
Okay.
Things put down there.
Yeah, I remember a few because last year I rewatched the whole series again. So yeah, I remember a good bit of it now.
It was with the Russian. It was the Russian guy. He's still alive.
Yep.
Yeah, but no big Pine Barren story. The only thing about Pinelands is, I beat him in wrestling one year. At Pinelands High School. That's my only story.
Yeah, we were before we started, we were talking about how the wheel has grown, because that's how you do your drawing. You spin the wheel and it picks the name from that. And I remember poor Jan.
Jan never wins.
There were very few people on this wheel. I mean, you could make out everybody's name as it spun around. And now it's like you can't see. You're lucky if you can see the colors.
So with my wheel, the only thing you have to do is leave a comment in a registration video. You're automatically put on the wheel to win seeds, hot sauce, yarn, a whole bunch books, a whole bunch of other stuff. If you are a member, you get extra chances on the wheel. So I have 3 levels. So if you're a Joseph's Jelly Bean member, and reason why it's Joseph's Jelly Bean, and thank you, Charles, for the emoji. Charles helped me with my emojis on my side. My son had cancer. And so at 9 years, so for the last couple of years, we battled things, and he's doing great right now. But my
That's
son would
great.
come into my show and give me the most disgusting jelly beans on earth. It was so bad. And so what we had Joseph's Jelly Beans as a membership. And then I had the superhero. And the reason why it was a superhero, because I had my garden one year named the Superhero Garden. And so, like, hey, Joey's about superheroes. I'm trying to get him interested in gardening. We have the Superhero Club. And then we have Joseph's Journey. And each layer, so if you're a Joseph's Jelly Bean member, if you leave a comment and you're a member, you get 2 chances on the wheel. Then you go, if you're a superhero, then you get 2 chances, plus a comment is 3 chances. And a Joseph's Journey member, you get 3 chances, plus if you're riding 4 chances. So there's usually 400 people now on the wheel. I mean, not 400, 200 people now on the wheel every Sunday, which is pretty awesome.
Yes, it is. Compared to when you first started. I remember there's like hardly anybody in there, and I'm like, why is nobody here? This is such a great thing. And you've grown quite a bit. I remember when you first got monetized.
Thank you so much for helping me get there.
Yeah, I remember because you kind of set goals. I remember when it was like 25 people in chat, and then 30, 50, 100, and higher and higher.
Now, I've been trying to use all social media, and the highest for all aspects of social media, I got 167 people watching at one time.
That's great.
On just YouTube, the most I ever got was 127.
127.
So that's what I'm trying, and whatever I could do to help people, that's what I'm doing, Charles. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Now, I also do a lot of funny videos too, and it's another way to promote channels. So I have people, do jib jabs or have people sing that you never think would ever sing before. And
I found out a few times.
And it's just a unique way where I could put your channel, your face, for everybody to say, hey, what's this? And get a good laugh, check out your channel. Yeah, it's always been just a unique way to trying to help channels out. I'm never making fun of a channel. I'm just trying to.
Unfortunately, there's so much, hate and stuff going on, and it's so good when you see channels that help each other, do shout outs and do other things. And I think that's the important thing. And
it's the little guy. What's interesting is the people that followed you from the beginning, once both people get big, they kind of go their other way a little bit. But they always come back. Mm-hmm. It's just that it's not as, everybody's so comfortable with each other, you forget. My family doesn't even watch me. Hey, how's your show? Good. Okay, that's good. But it's always about that little guy. Support everybody. Support as many people as you can. Yeah. You never know who's gonna, be your best friend 2 years from now. It could be some channel that you would have never even thought about. When I started doing crochet, right? It was because of my grandmother. All right. We would watch New York Mets games, and she would have her Budweiser and Cheez-Its, right? And I have no idea, but she would eat for a little while. Then here, Joe, have this, wash your hands, and crochet. And I'd be like, I love Cheez-Its. Or cheese doodles. And, and she would crochet. And she would go, hey, you want to try this? And I would have no idea what the heck I'm doing. But I'm going, okay, do this, count, And it was some of my best times of my life with my grandmother, just watching them make game, conversing, and just learning how to do a blanket or a Grammy square or, all kinds of things like that. And Mine never turned out any good. and then I got to high school. Then I kind of, you forget about it. You're with your friends, you're talking to girls, you're not doing any stuff. But
Yeah.
when I started my channel, I'm like, you know what? When I'm thinking about the homesteading community and things like that, like, what do the girls do? What do women do out west? I mean, they cook, right?
Yeah.
Now, who makes socks and who does blankets and who does that? Well, hey, that's perfect for a homestead community. So what I did is I made a big circle. What do I want my channel involved with? I want gardening. I want cooking. And I haven't even gotten to cooking, crochet.
Well, you've gave some good cookbooks away though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, well, I'm not giving this one away, but I'm going to give a couple of these away in a couple of weeks. This is from Gary Pilarczyk. So he's actually coming to my channel. I got to read this first. I got it today. So I'm going to give a couple of those away because reading's important, and many people don't read anymore. So I think it's books are very important.
Yeah, and it actually it's about time for my book challenge again. My
son could read like you wouldn't believe. I mean, it was like, thank God he stays with his mom, or he's a lot like his mom, where he could read something and get it. I might have to read something 10 times and look, what did I read? I forgot what I read. I read it 10 times. I still forget. Yeah. He could just grasp it like that. And
that's real hard nowadays for somebody to not read on one of these things. Mm-hmm. It's a book, a paper thing, and there's some people that can't. I can't stand the cell phone, but it's one of those things you kind of have to have nowadays. But I'd rather pick up a book and read it, and then go back again and read it again, and oh wait, I know how to do that, and if I forget something about it, I can just look it up in that book again.
So with my son, when my son was going through cancer, we met a lot of celebrities on Roundaway and a whole bunch of stuff. So one of the persons I talked to was J.C. Rollins. So that's the person to the Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
And she wrote this letter to my son, which was unbelievable. The book she gave him wasn't the book you buy in the store. It was like amazing. And so I really didn't realize how important it was until I see my son's and my wife's face. Who did you talk to? No, there's no possible way. Here you got one of the biggest celebrities around, and then I'm talking to her like she's like nothing.
Yeah, fortunately, she's in that being hated thing.
Yeah, right now. Yeah,
unfortunately, because she believes in a certain that kids shouldn't be bothered with, I'm not going to go into it, but things in school nowadays that's been going on. And
but she was really good to us.
Oh, she
books and talking. And
she's real good. She's a really, and some people, they say, oh, that she writes witchcraft books, and it has nothing to do with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the most popular book series ever written.
Oh yeah. Even the movies. I hate to say it, but they did. Harry Potter did pass up Star Wars at one point. Yeah. Although we came out ahead.
I haven't even followed a chat. I haven't even followed a chat, but hi everyone. Thank you guys everyone for coming. When you do these interviews, isn't it so hard to look at the chat?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard to pay attention and make sure if there's any questions. Because if you guys want, you can ask any question you want up here.
But I'm really looking forward to growing this year.
Oh yeah.
After last year, just a couple plants outside with lettuce. My lettuce is growing so good, and my spinach. It is unbelievable. I wish I had this stuff. IV Organics fertilizer is hands down the best fertilizer I've ever used. It's organic too. And Charles Mikey is the guy that does, he makes the blend. Best fertilizer I ever had. IV Organics.
Huh.
Highly
Yeah.
recommend that if you guys are listening.
I've been trying to just do the natural thing because I got the rabbits. And they produce more than just, meat. Their droppings are wonderful. You put that in the garden, and I also put it in my compost bin because it speeds everything up too.
Rabbit poo is the best because it's
that
right
stuff
there.
is awesome.
It's right there for that plant.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You don't have to set it and wait for a year for it to cool off. It's boom, boom. And you can make the tea out of it and stuff. And no, not the drinking tea.
Well, when you make that tea, it's the micro. Now, I ordered a whole bunch of worms, which I still have right here because I have worms. This is all worms. So I have tons of leaves back outside. I have tons of leaves. So I'm just putting that in my rows, digging, putting tons of leaves, putting worms, trying to add as much life as I can to the soil. Not that they can use it this year, but watch out for next year when all those leaves are starting to compost and worm castings.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You gave away bugs.
Yeah, I give away bugs, guys.
It sounds weird, but for gardeners, it's great. The praying mantis and the ladybugs.
Yeah, let me see if I have the praying mantis somewhere, sir. Pretty cool. I wonder if they hatched. They're due to hatch. That'd be pretty cool if they hatched right now. So they come in these things like this. And so usually I gave out praying mantis, ladybugs, and other beneficials. Actually, you know what? I think they hatched.
Oh.
Yep. Okay, ready? Got to take a quick look.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a bunch of them in there.
Wow, this is cool. I got them right here. Look. Whoop. Oh, where did he go? Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I seen him.
Whoop. He's right here.
Yeah, baby praying mantis.
Isn't that cool? Hey, I can't believe this. It hatched on your show. Oh, that was crawling on me. Ah! Put him in the peppers.
And it's not like you haven't ate bugs. I know a certain jelly bean that you always get stuck with.
Oh, stink bug. The stink bug. I can't believe that just hatched. That didn't. Oh, wow, that's so awesome. Except, I'm afraid because we're supposed to get close to a freeze tomorrow night.
It's tonight for me.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to get down to 40, 41. So it's like it's too cold. But I don't know if
they said patchy. It was going to be patchy here. So I'm probably going to go out and at least cover the tomatoes and peppers. The onions and my radishes and stuff should be fine, but when you have one day out of the whole month that you have to worry about. I was hoping I didn't have to worry about it anymore, but
I still can't believe this hatched. Wow, that's kind of freaky. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to do with them because you can't just leave them in there. Yes, I got my worms, my praying mantis. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
You got to do is with my son and everything. I've tried to do everything organically as much as I can.
Yeah.
And so you got all those bad bugs and You want somebody has to help. You need some help out there. So by adding the worms and praying mantis or nematodes, it is do what you could do to help out your own environment, what you're growing in.
Yep. That's last year I grew in a lot of different containers, and I had them on the ground, and I found out that was bad because I got a lot of bugs in the dirt because they came up, and that was the perfect environment for them, was in a container. So now this year I built things to lift the containers off the ground, so it's less of a chance for me to get the bugs, the bad bugs.
Got to get those bad bugs.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for coming on in. This is awesome.
Okay, we're at the point where go ahead, and if you have anything that you've got planned in the near future or something going on, go ahead and let people know, like a little sneak peek of what's coming up.
Okay, this Sunday, right now my guest is up in the air. I might have Gardner Scott on as my main guest, but that's up in the air a little bit. And my other guest will be Yogi Hollow Farm, Mountain Grandma. They're coming on at 8:20, and 8:40 is Joe and Dana, and Triple C. It's a Yarny people, Yarny people. So I don't know which other way they promote channels, but more of a in that community. Joe Ball's like a 260 average. I don't know what it's insane. Guy's a good baller. And we're having them over at 8:40. So it's another really good Sunday fun day.
And there's a question for you.
When you plant potatoes in the ground and they're taller, is there anything else you need to do to keep them producing? Just keep on adding your fertilizer and keep on keep on growing as vertical as much as you can. Because once they fall, that's what keeps them from growing bigger. So you want them to grow as tall as they can straight up. So if you have something that you could do that, I highly recommend that. And just let them grow. Just leave them there. They're not going to do any bad. They're not going to rot under there, if you leave there a couple weeks after. So there's nothing to worry about. My wife and I are renewing our vows
that's good.
On August 8th. So, and we're having a party on that Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that. I was married before, and my past wife, she passed away. So now you get married in the church. And it's very important, my wife, to get married in church. And so, so that's what's going on. We're going to get married in the church, and we're looking forward to that. Looking forward to the party, because that means I have a Saturday off.
Oh boy.
There hasn't been many Saturdays off I had taken off in the last several years.
Yeah.
And so looking forward to having a party and renewing our vows with my wife.
I bet the weekends are quite busy with Jersey Shore that season time.
Oh, it's I'll tell you what, the people I have met down in Jersey Shore, you meet a lot of celebrities. I had a chance to go on a Jersey Shore, which was pretty funny. I couldn't even imagine me on a Jersey Shore as an Uber guy. So they took down my number and stuff. They took that because they asked me. I didn't ask them. And they said, "Hey, would you want to be on a show?" The producers. I said, "Sure," because I talk to everybody. I'm very outgoing.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We love you. We'll think you're great." Blah blah blah. But they never gave me a call back. Another show. I have no idea what the movie was, but they wanted me to be on their show too. But nothing came down. I'm like, okay, what's going on? You guys coming to me? Come on, I get all excited for nothing. I met the Housewives of New Jersey. They came in my car, and one lady goes, "Don't you know who we are?" I said, "I'm sorry, I have no idea who you are. We're the Housewives of New Jersey." I'm like, okay, that's nice.
Did they start fighting?
No, but she gave me a big attitude when she said that, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
since you didn't know,
I
I
didn't know
don't
who
know
they
who they
were.
are. I know there's a show out there for the wives because they have them for like Atlanta, New Jersey, New York, all over the place. But I've never watched any of the shows.
Thanks everybody for the congratulations. But I met baseball players, Jerry Kuzman. He was a
Oh,
baseball player. I also met his son, which was interesting. And I picked up his son from Asbury Park several times. So that was pretty cool. John Madelack. It's funny how you meet all these players and everything like that, which is really cool. Who else did I meet? Yeah, it's just pretty. You know what? When I was coaching football, I used to go to a lot of. See, I never been like a big celebrity, like, oh my God, you know, I was kind of shocked. Because when I started coaching at 20 years old. And so
oh wow.
I was a really big athlete. I was close to being paralyzed my sophomore year of high school. And I had one of those attitudes where, oh, you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I was very close to being paralyzed. So instead of being one of the best, instead of it being a Division I athlete or professional athlete, instead I became just very good. I was very good, but not as great as I could see. I was coming up from football play. I slipped in the mud last play of the game, came back up, wrong angle. I pinched 8 nerves in my neck. They wanted to put halo on my neck. They said, you'll never be able to play a sport again. I said, listen, I'm standing up. I'm the best athlete in the school. I got 5 weeks for wrestling practice. Get me ready. So I would go to chiropractor 5 o'clock in the morning, go after practice, just to compress the nerve so I could hopefully be able to play a sport. And I still played football. I still baseball, wrestled. My neck brace was like this big. You couldn't move it. You barely could. You're in the stand. You're like, I'm just using your eyebrows to look up, you know. It was that bad. And so I went to Division III football just to play football start. And they looked at my x-ray, said, son, you're not playing football. I said, are you still going to give me $10,000 a year for my scholarship? I said, yeah. I said, okay, well, I'm going to go out for the wrestling program, right? So here I got in the best shape of my life. Best shape. I know I could wrestle Division III. When I was in high school, I wrestled guys Division I NCAA champion, and I lost the match 7-2 to NCAA, 2-time NCAA champion. When I was a junior in high school, he was in college. So I know how good I could be on my feet. Now, if you give me a little bit period of time where I had no strength, I was done because I would lose total strength. I was done. I just had too much nerve damage. But I said, you know, I'm gonna get in the best. I was in the best shape of my life. I'm all ready for wrestling college. They canceled the wrestling program.
Oh.
So I'm like, you got to be kidding me. The season is going to start soon. So I'm looking out for college baseball, right? So I started the next year. I batted .415 in fall ball, and had a guy from the Pirates look at me. And at that time, they go, if you have one chance, this is your only chance you're ever going to have. Because there was no computers back then. You know, it's you seen somebody, you heard about something, that was it. So had a guy from the Pirates look at me, specifically came to watch my practice, go, hey, we like how you feel. We like how you bat. We like how you run, but you're too short. I'm too short. Nobody's ever told me I'm too short. I'm 5'10". You know, they won't draft anybody below 6'2".
Oh, wow.
So that was back, you know, in 89, 90, you know. So I was like, screw this. I'm in too much pain to go where I want to be. I'm going to go right into coaching right away.
Yep. I was real big into sports. Only wasn't in a stable household. I'll put it that way.
Right.
But I took to pitching, and I had a coach who taught me how to throw curves and everything like that. Unfortunately, I wasn't developed enough and ruined my shoulder. And I actually, Ken Griffey Jr., I threw a strike on Ken Griffey Jr. And I was like, ooh, Next one, it was gone. he didn't think that somebody my size, because I was skin and bones, but I could really throw. And I woofed it down there, and it went. He's like, "Wow!" And then he smacked it out of the park. And they said at that time I had great potential, but again, I had a coach that was forcing throwing curveballs too much, and it threw my arm out. And they said, well, if you want to continue, you have a couple choices, relief or get a surgery done. And I said, no, I won't get the surgery, because at that time it wasn't guaranteed that they were fixing anything. So yeah, that was my baseball fame at that time.
I'll tell you, well, one of the best hitters I went against was Mo Vaughn. So he played at Seton Hall, and during our fall, or when I was in college, our fall background, there was a white house in the background. So if you're at first base, the only thing you see is white. Well, everybody's telling me about this guy. Yeah, this guy's really great. Our pitcher's throwing 70 miles an hour. So the playing division, Upslow was a really good baseball Division III, but we also went up and you played Rutgers and Seton Hall and bigger schools like that in the area. So there's this background, it was all white. He hit a ball. I didn't freaking see it. I just went like this. The thing went like this. And everybody in the dugout was laughing because everybody knows about the background. You can't see anything hard hit. I'm like, oh my God. Holy crap. I have never seen the ball hit that hard before in my life. And John Valentin, who played the major leagues, a whole bunch of guys played for Seton Hall at that time who were really good. But I went 4 for 5 that game. I remember that.
Yeah, and football. In '88, it was Arizona State, and I don't know, a bunch of CBers got together, and nobody was in shape out of everybody, and we went out to the park and played football. Well, we didn't know who they were at the time. They came out, and we had a team, they had a team. We're playing tackle football, no pads or anything. It was just in the park, and they were stomping us. And we had a quarterback. He was pretty good, but I kept telling him I'm open, and because I'm a little skinny guy out there. They didn't bother with me, and I told him, we're not getting anywhere anyway. Just throw the ball to me. I'll catch it. And he threw the ball to me, and I had the whole field. I ran all the way for a touchdown, and I was faster than their fastest guy at the time. And after I made that touchdown, I had 3 guys on me the whole time. I didn't catch a ball after that.
Anytime there's a threat, they know that, and you protect your threat.
Yeah, and they told me afterwards, and they says, "Do you play for any schools around here?" And I said, "No, I don't play." And they said, "Well, you should, because you just beat our fastest receiver." And I said, "Okay." And I'm like, I didn't know who they were, and they said, "You know who we are?" And I said, "No, we're the starters for Arizona State." And I didn't know who they were. I was in Arizona and still didn't know who they were. And I said, okay. And then I started watching their football. I'm like, holy crap, these guys are good. and that's when I was like, oh, cool. I must not be too bad then. And then I started playing in Phoenix. It was Highland High School, one of the worst schools Our cheerleaders were horrible. The whole school was horrible. But I played quarterback, and I also played defense, cornerback, and sometimes safety, depend if I was tired or not. And I ended up breaking all the school records, was probably wasn't that hard, but for football. And till I got in trouble and punched a teacher because he was not a nice guy. I'll put it that way. But yeah, that was my time in sports. That's about the farthest I've gotten.
We always enjoyed our coaches. We even put one of the coaches' cars in the middle of the practice field. It was like, still can't believe we did that. It was, again, anything good for a laugh. You're going to run anyway, so you might as well do something.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
I'm happy I never had to deal with that all the years I coached. Never really had a problem with a kid or a parent.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead. It's at the end of the hour. Thank you for taking the time to have an interview for me and everybody out in chat there. All I can say is, if you guys got time Sunday, make sure you go register on the video first, his registration video. And I think let's put
the registration video will be out on Friday or Saturday. The registration video comes out, and then just leave a comment, put on a wheel, and we're gonna have another great Sunday Fun Day show. And I hope you guys can learn something. Hopefully you guys will laugh, and hopefully you guys can grow your own channel too, because that's what.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing is, if you're a creator, that's a perfect place, because the mods share everybody's channels out, which is really good.
The mods, thank God for all the mods. People I trust, since I've been there since day one. They've been there for me, never had a problem in my chats.
Yeah.
And it's really been a blessing for everybody to, behave in my show. Because you never know what you're going to get,
Oh yeah.
You know how it is. People are very nice to me and very protective of me, and I really appreciate that.
You do a great service for the community, and that's, giving away seeds, that's life, that's food. It's a good thing.
I had one of the best comments, and they said, Joe, everybody here has won seeds from you. Everybody here, there's over 100 people in this chat. Every single person has won seeds and is growing some just because of you. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
and nobody fights at Joe's.
Yeah, that's something I say. Is I just hope nobody fights, because there's bickering around all over the place, and
too much.
And I hope I show what I'm about. And I think I really show what I try to do. I don't bull crap anybody. I just try to help. I don't know other way, and try to laugh. Like, we got Wickershire Project here. Man, I wish I could meet Billy. Billy's great. I wish I could meet. I tell you what, if I went out to eat with Billy, there'd be a mess. That's all I can say. The place would never be the same. Okay, well, Charles, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this.
Oh yeah.
And, thank you everybody for coming in chat. And I hope to see everybody on Sunday Fun Day.
Yep. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us tonight. And tomorrow we'll be over at Bear Truth's channel. Until next time.